Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Shinta Alizya Kianty. I want to present about my research proposal. Title is the implementation of ELSA Speak application in teaching speaking to senior high school students. There are 3 chapters. First is chapter 1, is introduction. In introduction, there are 5 steps. Their background of study, limitation of the study, research question, research purposes, and benefit of research. The background of the study: speaking English is an important skill in the process of language learning. The learners communicate through oral expression to gain much information effectively and efficiently. The teacher should be aware of the learner's speaking ability because it significantly influences the other learner's success in language learning. The ability to speak a foreign language becomes the most highly prized language skill. Many language learners regard speaking skill as the measure of knowing a language. According to Noonan, 1991, page 39, who states that mastering the art of speaking is the single most important aspect of learning second a foreign language, and success is measured in terms of ability to carry out a conversation in a language. ELSA Speak application is made and designed with features that can help its users learn English pronunciation with an accent correct to overcome problems in language learning, especially English. It's hoped that this application can help speak fluently and increase knowledge about English. The limitation of the study: it is necessary for the researcher to limit the study. It's intended to avoid a big problem area and help her to focus on the research. In the reference to the background of the problem and in the identification of the problem, the study would focus in implementing ELSA Speak application in teaching speaking. Research question: based on the identification of the problem above, the research question is there any significant effect of implementing ELSA Speak in teaching speaking to senior high school students? And the research proposes: based on the research question about the research purposes is to find the significant effect of implementing ELSA Speak in teaching speaking to senior high school students. Benefit of research: the significance of this study will be useful for the English teacher. The result of this research is expected to provide them with an alternative technique to teach speaking. It is also expected to motivate the teacher to be more creative, so the student will be more enthusiastic in learning English in the class. For the researcher, the result of this research can develop her experience related to her knowledge in research on education and English teaching, especially for speaking. For the students, the result of this research is expected to give them new experience in English learning, especially in learning speaking, so they can be more motivated to develop their abilities. Chapter 2 is literature review. Theoretical review. Definition of speaking, importance of speaking, types of spoken language problem in speaking, Criteria of good speaking performance, evaluation of speaking, definition of Elsa Speak, and the role of Elsa Speak in improving English speaking ability. The first is definition of speaking. According to Brown, 2004, defining speaking as a productive skill that can be directly and empirically observed. Those observations are invariably colored by the accuracy and effectiveness of a test-taker listening skill, which necessarily compromise the reliability and validity of an oral production test. Importance of speaking. Speaking skill is the most important thing to be mastered when people learn English because speaking is the process of constructing meaning. It covers almost all of language components. Through speaking, someone can express their minds, ideas, and thought freely and spontaneously. Types of spoken language. Monologue is one speaker use any length of time without interruption, and dialogue is two or more speakers and can be subdivided into those exchanges that promote social relationship. Problem in speaking. According to Brown 2001, there are some causes that making speaking difficult as follows: clustering, redundancy, reduced form, performance, colloquial language, rate of delivery, stress, rhythm, intonation, and instruction. Criteria of good speaking performance. There are aspects of speaking performance. First is fluency, second is pronunciation, third is grammar, fourth is vocabulary, five interactive communication, six appropriates, and the last complexity. Evaluation of speaking. There are the way to assess the speaking performance as it is mentioned by Brown 2003. The first is interview, second is role play, and the last is discussion and communication. Definition of Elsa Speak. Elsa Speak is a mobile-based application that can run on the Android or iOS operating system. This application is designed with self-paced learning that allows users to learn language English without the need to be accompanied by an educator in learning. This application claims the latest technology embedded can provide the best learning experience for its users. The role of Elsa Speak improving English speaking ability. Fitria 2015, page 3 states that constraints are often relevant appears when dealing with English, namely feeling lazy, feeling shame, fear, boring, and lack of trust, lower confidence. The answer to Fitria's statement can be overcome by opinion from Aviatin and Andayani, 1998, page 37, who think effort to increase adolescents' self-confidence based on that assumption. Self-confidence does not just come, but it needs to be learned, needs to be formed. The conclusion of both of their statements is self-confidence is one of the most common hindering problem in speaking the English language. However, this obstacle can be overcome by building trust self through an effort that is by studying it. This is where Elsa comes into play. Speak to help students learn English and teach how to speak good and correct English. In order to provide the best and supportive learning experience this application is supported by several diverse features. previous study, the research that are related to this research that have been conducted, Janelle Motakin 2016, examined the relationship between application use Duolingo as a learning medium with confidence to speak the language English. The research was conducted on class 8 students of SMP Negeri 17 Bandung, provides a conclusion that students as user Duolingo apps has increased speaking confidence if compared to those not using Duolingo app. Pillar regrets Arakan et al. 2013 in the journal Posidia Social and Behavioral Science, Vol 103, page 1189-1196, entitled The Use of the Current Mobile Learning Application in FL. The results of his research conclude the success of developing mobile-based application in learning language on the so-called Me research project. Chapter 3, Research Method. The first is research design. This type of research is mixed method, namely method combining quantitative method and qualitative method. This study aims to obtain more data, comprehensive, valid, reliable, and objective. Second is population and sample. Population. The researcher will take a second grade of senior high school at SMKN 1 Majalengka and as population of the study and sample. Total number of the sample will be 60 students. Types of the research. This research is a types of classroom action research. According to Kurt Lewin in Kunandar 2011, action research is a step which consists of 4 steps. They are planning, action, observe, and reflection. Procedure of the research. There are 4 cycles in action research. The procedure are as follows. By Chemist 1985. There are planning, acting, observing, and reflecting. Research location. This research was conducted at SMKN 1 Majalengka with several students as research subject. Research instrument. To collect the data, the instrument in this research was observation and speaking test. Technique of collecting data. Observation research to measure confidence in speaking is with assessing the sample that is in a speaking state. For that, the sample will be charged the assignment to speak in front of the class is in the form of speech. Then the students who are speech will be observed and assessed according to the focus of the study. Documentation. Documentation is tool aiming at identifying documents or the field of study devoted to the study of documents. This is an effort to help the writer to collect the needed data and to support the writer with the data dealing with the school and English learning process in the class. Research variable. Variable is the object of research or something what become the concern of research. There are 2 variables in experimental research. They are independent and dependent. Independent is speaking and dependent is allow speak. Technique of analyzing data. There are pre-test and post-test and scoring guidance. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.